Commissioners, the meeting is live.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and call this December 16th meeting of the Riley County Commission to order. Please, everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, halfway through the month of December already. Christmas is next week, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sure.
this is the last full week of the year.
Yeah, that's right.
They're on the radio, they're talking.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get through, so we'll just get through it and keep moving forward, right? So, all right, well, we'll start off with some public comments this morning. Do we have anything? Anybody? Did I just mention Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Is it? That's a debate, isn't it?
Yeah. I got my annual invite to the Christmas party there, but I'm not going. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Where is it?
Los Angeles, Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh, why don't you go?
Well, I don't want to have to walk on glass and throw people out of buildings and stuff. It's not festive.
Oh, is that what they do? I don't know anything about it.
It's a Christmas movie.
Oh,
Anybody wants to argue with me is wrong.
okay.
So.
It's not real
I guess
Christmas.
that's the public comment.
You throw people out of buildings.
A lot of Christmas movies that they say are Christmas movies that really aren't.
Oh, but
But he was going to a Christmas party, so that makes it a Christmas movie.
Home Alone does a lot of damage to people too. Watched that yesterday.
Okay, well, we'll move on to commissioner comments and we'll quit getting this whole thing. Commissioner Kenny.
Mine. Peter picked at me for a few minutes. There we go.
I don't know how that goes. It's okay.
After the meeting Thursday, I called Jacob to further discuss that RHID policy presented, and he clarified some of the areas in the policies to get better understanding of what they're talking about there. And I did start going through that housing study. 10 million pages, but I didn't read them all, but I skimmed through and found a couple of things I wanted to comment on. But, and then, Saturday we had my holiday meal with my brothers in Topeka. And since the holidays are always so full with families, our kids, their in-laws and the grandkids. And my mom actually started this years ago that she called it Thankmas. Mid-December.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we don't have to worry about trying to fight with
Mhm.
Thanksgiving or Christmas. We have our own little thing. Thanks.
Good idea.
Thankmas.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
and that's all I had.
Okay. Well, let's see. Thursday afternoon, participated in the legislative conference with our upcoming representatives, the state legislature, including Sidney Carlin, Angel Roselle, and Brad Starnes. Priorities for the Riley County were discussed and presented by Clancy Holman and included Brian Parker and Charles Hager. Saturday morning, I attended the visitation and graveside services for Charles Hawk, volunteer for Riley County Rural Fire Department for more than 44 years. Visitation was at YML Funeral Home, and then a procession of all the fire trucks and emergency vehicles to the Pleasant Valley Cemetery in Zinedale for the graveside service. And that procession was amazing. It stopped traffic all directions, all the way out there to Zinedale. So, and people stopped, and it was really amazing. So, what a tribute. So after that afternoon, the rest of the weekend, I did house cleaning and other preparations to leave town this week, which I'm leaving on Thursday. And Sunday, I caught up on some outside yard work because it was so nice, and did some stuff in the garage, which I'd been putting off for 2 years.
Procrastination.
Yeah, it was really procrastination. I finally didn't do it. So, and then I also reviewed the agenda and documents and went through a lot of documents that we've had piled up here that we're working on. So that's it for me.
Okay, well, as for me, on Thursday, I too attended the legislative conference. I thought it went pretty well. Sometimes with new legislators, I guess, or legislators elect, at least until next month. You don't always know what you're gonna get, so. But I thought a conversation went good, and I'm glad we kind of pared it down a little bit, you know. Some years we have 4 or 5 different things, and it's a lot to digest, so, hopefully we can work on those 2 items and get something meaningful, taken care of, either this or the next legislative session, however that works out, so. Also on, Thursday, I had, my monthly meeting with the NACO's Veterans and Military Services Committee. That's via Teams, of course. After some opening remarks and some welcomes from our chair, Sid Conklin. He's presiding commissioner in Randolph County, Missouri, so neighboring county or neighboring state, I guess I should say. We heard from Hannah Singer. She's a legislative assistant, office of Congresswoman Julia Brownlee. And I never did hear which state, which district that was from, but that's okay. She discussed dental care for in the Veterans Act. It's a separate piece that's part of the PACT Act, but hasn't really been implemented yet. So we discussed that. Pretty good conversation there. Then we also discussed with Rodney Peterson, he's a commissioner from Dodge County, Minnesota, Veterans Treatment Court. And I know that's something that's been tossed around here and various other Kansas counties too. So had a really good conversation on that, and then something I'm going to follow up on, if not before the end of the year, sometime afterwards. It's on a list that ever is increasingly growing, so, but it is what it is. Got a legislative update from Mike Matthews, our legislative director with NACO, and just had a general discussion and wrap up after that. So, and then also on Thursday, we had our a CIT meeting, crisis intervention team meeting over at RCPD. Didn't really go through the agenda in full because there was only like 3 of us. So trying to come up with a little more of a game plan for 2025, what a meeting structure might look like, who should be part of this particular board. I need to get a couple of citizens at large and probably a couple of other area agencies kind of involved in this process, but are still discussing trainings for 2025. I mean, they'll have the regular CIT class that's usually in June or July, and then maybe talking about having a secondary one. This is paid for by KLETC, so the state CIT council will pay for those. And the challenge seems to be just, you know, finding people that can do certain types of training for those. So we'll continue to work on that. Had a discussion with Fort Riley Police Department Deputy Chief Fink, who used to be a captain at RCPD. Thought he retired, but I guess unretired, so I guess you can do that. So works out pretty well, I suppose. So went through that meeting. The goal is to try to have those meetings, I think, bi-monthly. So probably starting in January, and then try to do that on some kind of rotation on a specific time and a specific date each of those months moving forward. So let's just have to see how that goes. So on Friday, had was part of a transportation roundtable discussion up on Fort Riley. Major General Roan has made this somewhat of a priority. There were members from it was actually set up by staff from Senator Marshall's office, along with the new garrison. And there were people from Fort Riley, people from Junction City, Gary County, Manhattan, obviously Riley County, and all the both Senator's office and Senator Mann's office there, discussing what that would look like. It looks like we're going to break up into some work groups, try to discuss what that would look like. Rideshare was talked about, ATA was talked about, how to better integrate soldiers into the area communities and do so in a safe and secure way. So that'll be an ongoing discussion kind of moving forward, but certainly something I think if I heard the conversation right, got the context right, we all want to do something about solve. So look forward to being part of that conversation, and we'll see where it goes.
I thought they had buses out there that ran. They don't even. Okay.
ATA actually has one one bus that will go out there, for, if you order it ahead of time. So if you call and say, I need it at this certain point in time, they can work that through, but there is a lot of red tape with that, a lot. I was interested to find that there are 60 registered Uber and Lyft drivers that go on and off a post.
Huh.
Most of those are actually soldiers,
Hmm.
I guess moonlighting, for lack of a better term, but who do some of that, but there needs to be an expanded type of service because that's just not gonna work for everybody. And, to get people in and out of Junction City and Manhattan, just gonna have to look at some different things, so.
So they're wanting the counties to participate in this, or they're going to fund this, or do they have they talked about it?
We have to talk about all those things, the logistics, but it is a directive of the Major General Room, to accomplish, so. It's gonna get discussed, so it just is what it is, so. And then, Saturday, I was back up on Fort Riley to participate in, Reap Across America. Annual, celebration in honor of those who have fallen in the line of service and to, remember those who are currently serving, so. Did it a little different this year the most. Normally it's flags that we put out and they actually had wreaths this year. And we were able to walk around and put those on various headstones around the post cemetery, which I thought was kind of cool. And then earlier in the morning, I did participate in the coffee talk with the Riley County Republicans. Gave an update on everything that we're doing here in Riley County and had breakfast and then went out to the post. So pretty much everything I've been working on since Thursday. That's all I got.
Ready for business, commissioners?
Let's do it.
First item I have, I need motion to sign and approve agreement with the consultant with BG Consultants for the transfer station tipping floor and chute repair.
So this doesn't have to go out for bid.
They brought in and
They
discussed.
brought it in and discussed it with
Oh, that's
quite a while
okay.
ago.
Yeah, that's been a while.
It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would make a motion to sign and approve the contract from BG Consultants for the Riley County Transfer Station tipping floor and chute repair.
I'll second.
Been moved and approved to sign the contract from BG Consultant for the Riley County Transfer Station tipping floor and chute repair. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign.
Oh, that's great.
Really? Really, Evan? Really? I thought we were simplifying things.
That's why I brought the backpack.
Ah, he's got to carry it back.
It's,
Gotcha.
I mean, I know I just, I don't know all the names since talking about lots of.
Yeah.
Fabric, you never know.
Been there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Seen it many times. I had. It was big.
I didn't recognize much, couldn't remember the names.
Had quite a nice back columns, which I think they used to talk about for the past 20 years. It was chilly out there.
Excited, well, but let's do that. You guess, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, I need a motion to approve the mobile device reimbursement form for Diane Creek.
I moved to approve the mobile device reimbursement request.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the mobile device reimbursement form for Diane Creek. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign. Next, I have the Annual resolution for the commission to approve the gap waiver for 2024.
I would make a motion to approve resolution number 121624, a resolution exempting Raleigh County, Kansas from the provisions of KSA 75-1120A, the 2024 gap waiver resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 121624, resolution exempting Riley County, Kansas from the provisions of KSA 75-120A, subpoint A, 2024 gap waiver resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All three, please sign. Next, commissioners, I need a motion to approve the tax roll corrections.
I'd move to approve the tax roll correction.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the tax roll corrections as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign. Yeah. Next, commission need the board to approve the advisory board appointment letters and resolution.
Wow.
Yes.
Let me see, I'd make a motion to approve the advisory board appointment letters and resolution.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the advisory board appointments and resolutions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All three sign.
Lord. I'll pass. Oh, just gave me the Cobb Valley thing too.
Oops. Stuff on there.
I gave you.
Track still
Yeah.
haven't fixed their mistakes from last week, so.
Probably not high on their priority since they know we're about to dump them.
Their own damn fault.
Who's that?
Minute track.
Yeah, it's different today. Some of that stuff is.
Yeah, something my name today. For some reason.
Morning, David.
Good morning.
Just a couple more. I've got about a few more.
Started this morning with some wrist exercise.
I already messed up. Remember my name today.
He tried to get my stamp to get used, but somebody keeps telling me no.
There he is walking down the hall.
Years, no. it's-
Oh, I gotta sign those. Oh. Got a few more.
Resolutions there as well, or just the letters?
Resolution was in there, I saw it.
Somewhere.
Okay.
It was in that first stack I signed.
Oh, it is.
That's at the very bottom.
Fine,
But I
hopefully.
didn't read
There were
that.
two
I just
copies
started
of it.
signing.
Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
I didn't have
I
anything.
didn't have any.
I move to approve the minutes of December 12th meeting as presented.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as written from the December 12th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
How the tentative agendas look, commissioners?
A little lighter,
Yeah, a little easier.
just a little.
Any items for next week's press conference? Okay. You will have Anna Burson up at 9 o'clock.
Goodies, anybody?
I'll take
I might have to take some.
breakfast of champions.
Uh-huh. That's what being an adult's all about. You can do whatever you want, whenever you so.
Macaroons or what are?
That's what it looks like. Mhm. I'm good, thank you.
You're incorrect, sir.
What's that?
My Heart is not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas
It is
movie.
not.
You are wrong.
Bruce Willis even said it's not.
What's the name of this movie?
Die hard to shoot him up.
Oh, that's not Christmas.
Bruce
What
Willis.
did he get an invite to? In the movie?
to a Christmas party.
Ah, there you
And
go.
he said, there's no Santa Claus, there's no reindeer, there's no little kids with gifts, there's no elves. So he says it's not a Christmas movie. And I didn't make the rules Hallmark was on Christmas movies.
Bruce Willis.
Getting ready to say.
Lethal
that's
Weapon,
your-
you're
that's
thinking
your
of.
basis,
Oh, boy.
but you're saying a lot of movies aren't. movies.
All kind of run together.
The dude he throws off the building has a Santa Claus hat on, that counts as Santa Claus.
No, I don't think so. No brotherly.
I won't,
love in there.
I won't repeat the conversation, because, you know, we have live stream, but
I just had to say it.
Gotta have to stir the pot. don't you?
Absolutely.
always.
I don't know if I'd even waste my time watching it. I don't watch a lot of movies.
This is from the 80s too, so.
Yeah,
Or as they say, this was from the 1900s.
Yeah,
Sounds like it,
there you go. There you go.
and they threw people off buildings and.
Yeah.
And there's snow and there's Christmas decorations.
They're in LA. There wasn't any snow.
It snowed in LA. They had a tornado in San Francisco over the weekend. Stuff happens.
I suppose it did. That's probably snowed what, one point in the
It was
last
that year.
20,000 years.
That's why it's still a Christmas movie.
It's going around. It's hitting everybody.
And,
Sorry.
no, I can't really tag. I can tag them, they don't have it. The last one, so yeah.
Well, that's it. It's gotten nice and strong now.
Yeah, exactly. Mutated.
You'll get the chance.
Long ways to go.
Yeah,
There's a
I'll
lot
start
of
with
structure.
No.
You'll be better dragging it down because there is a bunch.
Do something.
Budge?
Oh, I don't think you want to bring that around me. Tempted. That's it. So we brought that in.
I think Vivian and Cindy made that.
I'll tell you what.
Peer pressure.
I heard it called his name.
Pretty good.
That's one thing Rich does. He hires people that know how to cook in his office.
Well, think about it, it makes sense. I mean, they're great cooks. That means they're not afraid of hard work,
Correct.
you know? And you get good product, so.
So you can bring a sample platter and interview.
That's part of the process.
All right, Anna, go ahead.
Morning, Commissioners. Anna Burson with the Riley County Appraiser's Office here to give you the staff update for December. So on the personal property side, we were, the personal property staff were locked out of Comtech for an extended period of time earlier this year. Since regaining access in late November, they've been processing additions, abatements, and updating records for 2025 tax year. Due to the significant scope of website updates, we enlisted the assistance of our public information officer. And have actually gotten the updated section, the personal property section of our website has been updated. There's a few minor adjustments that still need to be made, but overall, all of the data on our personal property side of things is updated on our website. We were also preparing for mailing renditions. That is scheduled to be sent out between December 23rd and 31st. I'm gonna participate in the press conference this morning just to let property owners know. I figured I'd take the time now to kind of go over what that letter looks like. So we'll be sending a letter with all renditions this year because this is the last year renditions will be mailed due to the statutory changes. As prescribed in 79-306, they changed July 1st. We're required to annually list, they used to be required to annually list, sign and submit personal property renditions to the appraiser's office no later than March 15th for all personal property located in the county as of January 1. The change is if a person has filed an initial statement listing personal property with the county appraiser's office pursuant to the subsection, no subsequent annual statement shall be required to be filed with the appraiser's office regarding such property unless there's a change to report relating to the property previously listed on the statement. So this 2025 rendition that we are sending is the last rendition they will receive. They are not required to return the form, but we are asking them to just ensure what is currently listed is correct. And accurate as of January 1, 2025. Moving forward, any changes that are made to personal property, they need to contact us before January 1 of a given tax year. And they must be reported to the office no later than March 15th to avoid penalties. Any changes that are made after January 1st must be reported by December 20th of the tax year in which the change was made to avoid penalties. Changes that must be reported are the purchase or sale of personal property and any updates made to contact information. And so that's what's included in that letter, fairly simplified, but just to let property owners know those expectations. And so again, December 23rd through 31st is when those will be mailed out. Annual re-inspections of the properties for agricultural use have been completed. We're continuing to update our agricultural land boundaries and usage based on those maps that were returned. On the residential side, so far for 2024, there's approximately 922 sales of residential homes. This was as of December 1, with a median sale price of roughly $250,000 and an average sale price of $277,274. Current sales ratio is still sitting at right around 93%. The team is actively reviewing sales, building permits, and the annual review phase is largely complete. I think we've got about 50 properties. We're just double checking some things, and then that'll be wrapped up. Small claims hearings relating to 2024 valuation have been finalized. The residential manufactured home depreciation analysis is completed and submitted to PBD for a December 1 deadline. The market modeling has already begun, and we're working through that process. As noted in last month's update, the trend for 2024 sales indicates approximately 5% increase for 2025. Again, that doesn't mean all property values are going up 5%, but on the median, we're looking at about a 5% increase.
Low end, high end, same thing there?
It just depends. I mean, there's a few areas we're seeing that there may be no change over prior year. There might be some areas where we go down a little bit, but for the most part, that 5% is fairly consistent. So I'll know more once we start setting values, and I'll come back and report what that looks like once we actually set values. But the trend looking at resales of properties is right around that 5% on the middle. And so but once we actually set values, which will begin in the next month, I'll come back and give you guys an update. The commercial team's reviewing commercial building permits, assisting with the review of residential building permits with some of the staffing changes. Residential got a little bit behind, so it's all hands on deck and assisting with getting those permits completed before the end of the year. Depreciation has been completed, income analysis has begun, and additional updates on open commercial voted cases are provided on this slide. Sunflower Bank has dismissed, so that is another one that's coming off our list. In addition, master teacher, this one up here, that one, as well as there's two additional master teachers for 2.8, 2.9 million, also dismissing. So the list is
Yeah.
Little, little.
It's about as small as I can remember it being, looking at it, yeah.
So I'm
Nobody
really,
shakes it saying that.
really
Yeah.
excited for the progress.
I know 2025 is right around the corner, but
Right.
yeah.
We received a couple continuation notices, as they relate to hearings that were scheduled in the next year. But again, like I said, very pleasantly, excited to see this list shrinking little by little.
It's amazing. I mean, Paul Mitchell's salon has been closed for like 4 years, but it's still.
Yeah. That's a big one. There's a couple big ones on there still, so. Just keep working through those. All exemptions and applications that were submitted by the city have now been sent off to VOTA for the ones that I've received. Employee reviews have been completed. Just again, reviewing and allocating resources to make sure we're still meeting those statutory deadlines. We implemented P card changes as recommended. And we participated in several discussions. I participated in several discussions and meetings as they relate to your RHIDs and CLTs. Continuing to review and discuss improvements to our parcel search website and the functionality. We're in the middle of pup season, pups and abatements. And so we're just processing through the pups and hoping for we're just working through pups as they're received. I'll keep you informed once we have a count of what it looks like. Typically, the deadline is December 20th. That's kind of this week and next week, we'll get fairly bombarded at times. So once we have a total count of how many pups we received, I will keep you informed. Additionally, I participated in the Kansas Housing Task Force last week. It was just a discussion of representatives from K-State. There was a lobbyist from a legislative lobbyist that was there too, and they were just talking about some of the big things legislatively that are focused, housing, zoning, tax side of things, all of those different things were discussed. One of the things that was brought up is what they see the workforce housing price point as, and they kind of mentioned 180 to 200,000. And so I just figured I would just share a little bit of information from that discussion. I think it's important to participate in the discussions and just to be aware. So I'm just trying to continually stay involved, stay up to speed on some of the different discussions that are going on. Do you have any questions for me? I am out next week for the holiday. If you need to get a hold of me, I will be checking email, but very
Happening next week? I'm not even aware. Oh, yeah, all right.
so I will not be in the office next week, just so that you are all aware.
Make it a point to watch Die Hard.
I thought about it after you mentioned it.
You like getting a royalty?
Rick, you missed it. Sorry, go ahead.
You're fine.
David tried to stir the pot, I put him in his place. That's good.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas.
Well, you may as well watch Bridge then.
That's a Christmas movie too.
Well, that's more of a Christmas movie than.
Absolutely, Commissioner, could not agree more.
I agree, it's a Christmas movie too.
Do you guys have any questions for me at all? Just checking.
Let me out of here.
Just squeeze out of there.
You're good.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Anna. Next, we have David Adams at 9:15.
Now you have time. Go for it.
I'm done.
But what constitutes a Christmas movie in your mind? That was the interesting part of the debate.
Well, it's gotta have Santa Claus.
Which it does.
And that was not Santa Claus. The guy with the hat on doesn't make Santa Claus.
No more than the guy sitting in the mall with the hat on. It's the same thing.
No,
Yes, it is.
there was no kids, there was no reindeer, there were no candy. When the
Well,
Christmas movie.
There were Twinkies, that's candy.
Oh, that.
Christmas movie probably wouldn't have die in the like dying in the title. Right.
And the best part about it, you get to crawl around in ductwork at the HVAC. That's Christmassy.
Christmas.
Yes, that isn't unsimilar to going down the chimney, so.
One's lateral, the other's vertical.
He did have gifts on him. Cigarettes,
Firearms.
firearms.
I'm here to help.
I think that name's coming off the building pretty soon, Rich.
As long as the picture stays there.
That's the worst part of it. I don't have the name up there. We'll scare kids at Christmas with that.
I saw from the notes where the city's hassling over the signing.
Yeah,
They love to do that. Don't they?
Yeah. We're deciding how we're gonna approach that.
with actually a facility, had we not taken one route, we didn't have to have anything approved by them.
Correct.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah,
And it would be a substantial change to meet the requirements from what we have.
and it's not frontage on a city street because Charles Little is not a city street.
No.
That's a county road.
That's actually a county road.
There's a couple technicalities there.
Yeah.
Those, heated seats sounded like kind of a silly.
My wife loves them.
Oh, it's so nice.
Now she's got a heated steering wheel. She loves that.
That's, I've got that too,
That is nice stuff.
because my hands get cold easily.
yeah.
But yeah, that's, I always thought, I didn't look for them, but the car, both cars we've got have heated seats, and he said, what about steering wheels? I don't know. Went hit, so I get a button to hit for the heated steering wheel too.
Yeah, no, that's so nice. I mean, I don't have it on my vehicle, but I can definitely, I wish I did, because it's all heated up in the morning and it's all nice and warm when I get in. Put the hands on the steering wheel, it's like, ugh, cold.
That's Jan, one of Jan's sisters has back trouble. She's even in the summer.
Oh,
It's
really?
the Heat,
Uh-huh.
heat
Helps her.
on,
Mhm.
because even if the air conditioner's on in the car, she's got that heat on to keep the. Takes care of her back.
Oh.
Yeah, they got all kinds of bells and whistles and more things to break down to charge you to fix.
So that. Brian's learning.
Huh?
Except Brian's learning that. This week.
Yeah, I was surprised he went from his red Escalade to a brand new Ford.
Yeah, why did he have
I
to
mean,
go
I'm
to
curious
Wichita
what
for
it
it?
is, you know, what that is.
You bet.
Well, he's from there.
Yeah.
Might be somebody who
Maybe
knows.
he's.
That's because we bought Jan's car in Topeka because she knew the sales.
That's it. Doing that early on, I don't think I'd take that one.
Limit laws, all that fun stuff. You have to give them an opportunity to fix them,
We were
unless it's like
Test
something
drives.
absolutely.
Start out like that, it's gonna.
test driving a car in Leavenworth, a Jeep. And pulled it to see how to go up, because we had a really steep driveway, pulled up and started quit. The gas pedal linkage broke. Just had to keep it, wash it and coast it back down. I came back, oh, you want to look at another one? Went, no.
Hey, David.
Morning, Commissioners. David Adams, CMS Same Director with my monthly updates. Starting off operations, also first we had 526. That number is high. That was because for about a week or so, the hospital CT was down. So any patient that was in the hospital that needed a CT or in the ER, we had to transport them over to Building G, which is at 1133 College, Medical Arts. we had to transport them over so they could get the CT and take them back. So that's why I think we had like 48 or 49 of those over that span of time. So, but we did have a couple of busy days in there as well, so, but that's why that's a little inflated. Station 1, 182, Station 2 here, Love the Points, 143, Public Works, 82, Airport, 79, Leonardville, 37. So, mainly the three city stations ones who did most of those transfers. We didn't bring Leonardville down for those or something like that. So, but that's why that number's inflated. So. Rest of the calls, standbys, and I've got those numbers in there as well. New hires are in orientation, moving right along, so they should be done here in a couple of weeks, I believe. Building related construction topics, we're working through those. Everything's coming along, knock on wood, pretty well. Working on most of the windows are in, still waiting on a few where the masons are still working on the exterior. But it's looking good. Walls are up. Starting to get the sheetrock done on the admin side. The floor and the apparatus bay has been sealed, so it's really starting to take shape. Completed our annual employee evaluations, so we're just happy with that. That's, when you have that many employees, it's a lot of work, and our captains had they had to do 12 of them each because they have two they have on their shifts, and so employees did good on their self-evaluations. Captains got them done, we got them reviewed, signed off on, so we met the deadline. So especially when you have people on 24-hour shifts, only there 10 days a month, that can be a little tricky, but kudos to my staff, they got that done. So the quality improvement safety course that Josh and Alex are attending for the year is moving along. So they're working on some projects. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for us. But they're happy with it. It sounds like they're learning quite a bit. We continue to work with the mental health and substance misuse working groups and task forces. So a lot of this is still continual, hands-only CPR, stop the bleed training. I believe they have the last one of the year coming up.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from that.
Yeah, I'm sure Josh is on it, but I'll ask him about it.
Okay. I signed up for it, but
Right.
happened it with whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll ask him about it, but we have a meeting here at 10:30 this morning. We continue to operate with the needs and employee reduction. So we're about done with that project. It's been taking a long time, but we're looking at what we have and the data, what we use and such. So we've made some good changes. We found where we're a little lacking in some, but a little heavy in others. So the DEA changes, we're still working through some of that. It doesn't look like it's going to be a real big deal for us, but it's just maybe some paperwork. So, but and then year of end inventory for the county. So again, when you have 5 stations, you're kind of spread out. It takes a little bit of time, but Josh puts the crews to work, and then he has the scanner that he gets from IT, and he goes around and he scans everything and then double checks with his book and his spreadsheets and it's something he looks forward to all year long. So you're in purchasing, wrapping that up as kind of what Corey has as well. We have different contracts and such that are due at the end of the year and such. So and then breaking down events standbys, we had 10. 2 K-State football games, 7 basketball between men's and women's, and then 1 KSU commencement, and then we have some more this last weekend as well. So, under education, really the only thing that's end of the year training wrap up was completed. Staff had expectations that they had to meet as part of their evaluations. They for the most part met those. Like we had one that kind of fell short. So, but that was noted on their evaluation as it should. But appreciate staff, they did do a good job there. And then Alex is building out the 2025 training plan as well. And then car seat check lanes, and then Josh has spoke at various engagements and different programs and such. So he does a good job with that. I get good feedback. So I appreciate that from him. And breakdown of responses. You can see the Friday and Saturday really took off. So some of those were those transfers, but certainly not all of them. So there was we had some busy days. I think it would be safe to say. I think there was a 30 call day and one of those on a Saturday. So, and I don't even believe that was a game day. So it was just, but yes. Hourly range, really not a surprise there. See where it kind of starts ticking up about 5 o'clock and kind of stay steady when most people are still in bed. We're still out and about. So
You guys were pretty busy over in my neighborhood on Saturday.
they were. So you see the transfers, that number is high because of those, as I mentioned, but and then we have the breakdown of the construction. Had any questions about any of that? So there was only 3 weeks, one of them because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Or if there was one there, I couldn't find it, so, but I believe it was because of the holiday, so. But it's coming along well, like I said, most of the exterior is done. We'll see the paneling on the front of the admin side. Once all the masonry is done, then that company will come out and they do their own measurements. And then when they've got it measured and cut, then they'll come out and install them. So you will start to see the blue and start to see some of that contrast. Most of the windows are in, like I said, except for the south side. The masons have to get done before they can put in the windows, but they're moving along. It's kind of a skeleton crew on the masonry side. We'll move on to other projects, but now they have to get in temperature. Temperature has to stay above freezing for them to be able to work there. So kind of working through that, but it's come along well. So they've got it buttoned up pretty good. It's kind of warm in there now, which is nice. So, but any questions on any of this? Last week, we met a couple different times on the key of the, what rooms have locks on them, well, for key fobs, what won't, because depending on the staff side, the admin side, things like that. So appreciate Julie Winter and Lori and John a little bit. John's like me, it's just, kind of goes over our heads, but they do pretty well. And so they're get us taken care of.
So much I could say.
Might be time to do evaluations again.
Great. Anything else, commissioners? All right, thank you.
Thanks, David. Next, Commissioner, do you have a press conference at 9:30? Busy press conference. Probably take more than 10 minutes.
Think so.
How you doing? I stopped by your phone. I stopped by your office, you're on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys could if you like.
You need to have a.
Yeah, you can do it if you want to.
She's.
Well, that way I don't have to rush over to the wall. Like, we get this.
It makes it easier, don't that? Sure.
Boy. It's something important.
That's something important.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover.
Yes, we did. Okay. Study.
All those years in there.
Combined.
I'm not really good at math, but if I'm doing that right, we're talking like 67 here total. So, yeah, well, according to my list, we're starting with Julie. There she is. Good morning. This is always a bittersweet moment for me, always, but I'm gonna present you with a plaque. 47 years of service to Riley County. And I was talking to Rich this morning. I think you've actually been at Riley County longer than
Oh,
through the grapevine that you had quite the interesting interview process.
I did.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Not really.
I just thought that was kind of cool how that works, is it'll never happen again, and this is before,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you go ahead and have the mic, and appreciate 47 years and wish you the best of luck in whatever your future endeavors are.
Wow, it was an incredible journey. May 1st, well, actually, started before then. I walked into the treasurer's office. I had heard they had a position open. And Mrs. Lohman came up to the front and she says, "Oh, we're just terribly busy right now." She says, "Yes, I'd like for you to apply." She goes, "Here's a napkin, write your name and your telephone number, and I'll get back with you." And she did. And I started on May 1st of 1977. And I just want to thank all the Riley County commissioners. Thanks for everything, and coworkers. Julie, isn't that how we hire more people?
And got one more, so we'll have Fancy come up here and join us. And I've got one to present to you for, I guess, 20 years of service. Almost, but you've been in business for way longer than that, Mr. Sedgwick County as well, so. And I just wanted to say, thanks for keeping me in line the last 6 years. It's not an easy job, believe me, I know, so, I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure to work with you, it's been a pleasure to learn the ins and outs of things that I needed to know, particularly as a new commissioner and still learning commissioner, and I'm sure others would say the same thing, so appreciate your work and efforts, and I too wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, which is taking you someplace pretty interesting, if I'm not mistaken. You don't have to talk about it because that stuff can stay there.
That's right. I would echo what Julie said. It's been an interesting journey. And fun most of the time. Mainly because of the quality of the commissions that have served the community and also the quality of the staff. You've made the job very easy compared to what it could have been. I really appreciate your expertise. I appreciate your dedication. Citizens, we sometimes only hear from those who don't. Sometimes seems that way. But you're all very good people, and it's been a pleasure working. Appreciate your support, and I really appreciate the support of this commission and prior commissions that have served the community. Thank you.
Yeah. You can get pictures if we want to do
She's
something.
asking if
Okay.
let's do that.
I'm gonna leave that up to them if they want to do that or not.
Usually do,
Yeah,
always do with retirees.
hopefully that, like. Me.
You'd have to do it with Julie for sure, for 47 years. My goodness.
Same place.
Right on in.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 5. See what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Wonderful, congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll miss you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'll be here too, but it'll be a little bit later. I'll be video and tomorrow. Okay.
It wouldn't have felt right.
They're calling you.
Evan?
Yeah, they called him up there.
Oh, gotcha.
Good luck, Shiloh's.
Yeah, you want to go ahead, Shiloh? We'll just switch places.
Okay, I'll talk fast.
You're good.
Shiloh Hager, Riley County Treasurer. Just a reminder that first half 2024 taxes are due this Friday, December 20th. And I want to heavily stress that that is a Friday. The office closes at noon on Friday. So if you would like to pay in person, you need to be here prior to noon on Friday. We do have several options to pay. You can pay in person at the courthouse, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5, or Friday, 7:30 to noon. We do have a drop box in the lobby that you can just come in and drop your check and your payment off in the drop box. If it's after hours, you can utilize the drop box that's on the front of the building behind the mailbox. You can pay online on our website, www.rileycountyks.gov. There's a 2.5% convenience fee on credit and debit cards, or with a minimum fee of $2.95. E-checks will, there's a $1.50 convenience fee. You can also pay by phone at 785-377-5385. If the taxes are not paid for personal property, intangible taxes, watercraft, or 1620 trucks or oil by December 20th, they become due in full with interest accruing daily. The 2025 calendar year interest rates are 14% annually, or 15% if the outstanding taxes are more than $10,000, and that's for real estate taxes. The interest rate for personal property is 9% annually, or 10% if the total outstanding is more than $10,000. We do offer escrow programs to help with both current taxes or delinquent taxes. And if you have any questions or need any information, feel free to call our office at 785-537-6321.
Thank you.
All right.
Evan.
Good morning, Commission. Evan McMillan, Public Works. Today I have two public notices for you. The first one is Kitten Creek culvert replacement. That's expected to begin Thursday, January 2nd. It should last about 45 days and finish up by March 3rd-ish, depending on weather. The second is the transfer station will be closed for Christmas and Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve will close at noon. We close on Christmas, then open up that next Thursday. Then we will also be closed on New Year's. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. Anna Burson from Riley County Appraiser's Office. Just wanting to let the public know the personal property rendition will be mailed between December 23rd and the 31st. As a reminder, this is the last year you'll receive a rendition from Riley County. Due to the statutory change, you're not required to return this form to the County Appraiser's Office as you previously were. But any changes that need to be reported would need to be notified to us by March 15th. Please ensure and contact information is listed on those renditions is accurate as of January 1, 2025. Moving forward, any changes made to personal property, you need to contact our office before January 1 of a given tax year, and they must be reported no later than March 15th to avoid penalties. Any changes that are made after January 1 must be reported by December 20th of the tax year in which the change is made to avoid penalties. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the appraiser's office at 785-537-6310. You can also access information on our website as it pertains to personal property at www.rileycountyks.gov, and then just go to the appraiser page. Thank you.
And we did it in 10 minutes.
No, we did rather good with all that.
He's been on.
I didn't think that'd be possible. Good morning, Commissioners. First report is 2024 year-to-date wage and overtime compared to budget report. See in the upper right-hand corner. Point in time and year we're at, as of this report, was 91.67%. Those that are highlighted in the red to the right, the percentage of those that exceeded that amount. That's just a little snapshot to draw our attention to keep an eye on those things. Thank you. Looking where it went. Sorry. Always like to look at the center columns there, the amount of overtime compared to wages spent. Of course, typically EMS ambulance 41.49, but the overwhelming majority of that commissioners is budgeted for to their 24/7, 365 days a year. Public works a little higher, but we also in public works and solid waste budget more overtime there due to the nature of their work and snow removal, the storms and all of that. So they are sitting very well there as well. Overall, we're just at 5.35% of overtime. Any questions on any of those, commissioners? Next report's a little bit more detailed breakdown of the departments, regular salary, seasonal, and overtime. To show you a little bit more specifically where those monies are being spent. Any questions on that, commissioners? Next report is 2024 year-to-date budget activity. Those highlighted in blue are those that have exceeded 91.7% point in time of year. I remind the commissioners, all of these on the first page. Those individual departments are within the general overall, so it would just be the general fund, this entire first page, if it exceeded 100%, that there need to be a budget amendment. There is not, you can see those departments that have exceeded by the percentages. Any questions on that, commissioners? Of course, the general fund transfer, we had that large and budgeted unanticipated transfer that we did from the general fund to CIP. Any questions on that, commissioners? Page, you can see those highlighted in the blue as well. That list would be the ones that were on Brittany's budget amendment that we just recently completed. That highlighted in that darker bold box, of course, are all community correction and juvenile intake related. Any questions on those? Next page is all enterprise funds. Those are funds that do not derive any ad valorem tax monies. It's all fees and special assessments from the taxpayers, landowners, property owners in those districts or residents living in those homes. So no ad valorem taxes are used in any of these. Any questions on those? Next is a comparison 23 to 24 expenditures by department. Just a little snapshot to show comparatively to commissioner and the public the difference from one year to the next. Not always an apples to apples comparison, but it does give you an idea of difference spending trends from one year to the next in the respective departments. Any questions on any of those, commissioners? Next is a little bit more detailed breakout of the county general fund. Its percentage down there lower at the 20.698, typically low compared to most funds, but that is because of that miscellaneous budget stabilization of $4 million that we have in there. And that has been spent, and we don't want that to be spent because that's set aside for emergency disasters such as floods, tornado expenditures, when we got to have the money in a hurry and there's no federal assistance available in a hurry. Personnel expenditures, that very top line, that no personnel get paid hourly or salary out of there. It is just for separation of service pay. Any questions on that, commissioners? Next is 2024 year-to-date budget activity for RCPD. You can see the physician cost. I like the next page a little bit better to comparatively show where we're at compared from 20 to 24. You can see the dramatic increase in physician expenditures, commissioners. Of course, that's due to a lot of reasons, and one of the main ones is population. There's very large population in the jail right now, and I know that is a topic of discussion. But as you know, we're responsible for 100% of all inmate medical costs. Riley County, no other public entity helps pay for those costs. So while we may not budget quite that amount, as it keeps going up, we're gonna have to continue to adjust to go higher each year. And I'm sure the housing of inmates off-site also has an impact as well. Building maintenance, knock on wood, it's pretty good right now. Actually, that's one that can also jump from time to time. We do have regular discussions with Captain French down there at the RCPD, and I think he's doing a really good job given the situation. Any questions, commissioners?
You said that the off-site inmate, is that ours too? That isn't part of their
Yeah.
regular budget. That's stuff that we pay.
Yeah, that's considered housing. It's how they look at it, you know, because our Riley County, it's another thing we're 100% responsible for. No one else is. The city is not responsible for the housing of the inmates. We had that discussion again last week with Aaron Friedline and Mark French. Yeah, that'll be an ongoing discussion for sure. That they had an overage this year that they paid for. They'd like for us to split some of that, but that actually they wanted us to pay all of the cost for what they anticipate next year. You know, they said they didn't budget it. I reminded them we didn't budget it as well. But they're more than willing to work with us. You know, we pay for all the inmate costs. There's a statute that does allow us, which Riley County has never taken advantage of, to charge the city for inmates. City inmates,
Oh, for
there's
city.
a statutory provision that allows us for the city of Manhattan, any that are in there due to city violations, we can charge them a fee. Never have done that, but just
What,
something
what percentage of them are, do we know?
do not know. We'd have to look. And of course, that would vary, but
Well, it's not residents, it's whether or not.
No, I know it's not resident. It's city, it's where they're, what they're in there for, whether it's a
Yeah.
city violation.
city violation. County violation. Yep. So those costs will continue to go up, and I think a lot more discusses it regularly as well. Probably part of the discussion today. So yeah, they will be coming to us next year to talk about those costs, and they continue to go up, how the between RCPD and Riley County pay for those. Any questions on that, commissioners? Next, a little bit more detailed breakout up on our third-party offsite inmate medical expenses. We just gave them additional nursing capabilities, but they contend if the population continues to go up, they say what we did has dramatically helped on the weekends. But if the population continues to increase, they may have to have more nursing. They're also talking about mental health assistance, and I know they're working with Pawnee Mental Health to possibly work out a better arrangement, a more cost-effective arrangement for all of us involved. So I know he's meeting with the director there as well. Any questions on that, commissioners? It's very expensive business to be in, but we're statutory obligated to pay it no matter what it is. Any questions? Okay, next you have Amanda Webb at 9:50.
Morning, Commissioners, Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I'm here to talk about the Riley County Rural Economic Development Advisory Board, and that's a mouthful, so I'm gonna call it REDAP. As we go forward with this discussion. Of course, you folks created that board, in 2021. And Gary Fike, Extension Director, has been, running that board, for these last several years quite successfully. Lots of good discussion, topics, collaboration and whatnot, and I have been able to attend many of those meetings and I've been included in that discussion, which I appreciate. Commissioner Ford did ask to explore the possibility of moving REDAB from extension to planning, planning and development. I talked to our legal counsel. There's no bylaws for REDAB currently. Everything's in the resolution, everything's been spelled out what the charges and what the membership is, et cetera. So we just have that resolution there. Really, it would be pretty straightforward to make that change, that formal change. If you folks want to go forward with that, we would just change the extension director to planning director, basically. Talked a little bit about it with Gary as well. And the most important thing to the both of us, both Gary and I, is that the makeup of the board remain the same. Basically, that extension still being involved in it. I think we both believe that they have a, you know, an important role in that. So if you folks do want to move it over to my department, we would just ask that that membership and the extension still be involved in it. So it does make sense to planning and development. Of course, that goes along with the comprehensive plan update that we're working on. We've talked about, you know, doing some economic development planning. We'll have that chapter within the comp plan update. And again, as I mentioned, I have been attending the REDAB meetings these last several years and been involved as I can. So it just kind of, you know, nothing's still something else for me to do, but it does make sense if that's what you folks would like to do for it to be over there. If you want to leave it as is, I would still be involved. I would, you know, I still attend the meetings. I'm still in the discussion. So none of that would change. I wouldn't, you know, just stop going by any means. So again, just basically seeking your direction on and your thoughts on how you'd like to proceed with that. I believe I mentioned in here, a lot of the REDAB numbers are actually on the comprehensive plan subcommittee. So we do have some overlap there. So again, even if we left it as is, there's still plenty of, you know, overlapping conversations. I'm still involved, they're still involved. So we would still have the comp plan update in that economic development chapter. So it's not that, you know, anything would be left off if we don't change it. But again, it does make sense for it to be under planning and development. That's what folks want to do.
I'm a little concerned about your timing. Your time, I know that you've consistently every year been short of staff, and we've made some changes, but it just puts another thing under your belt that you have to deal with and make extra reports on. I don't know. It seems to me it's doing fine as it is.
I disagree on that. Actually, I think this will actually help her. Because as we work through strategic planning and comprehensive planning, which is all in the planning department, this is another tool, another group that will be able to help assist and facilitate some things moving forward.
They are doing that now.
I don't think so.
In the
I haven't heard
comprehensive plan.
I mean, we haven't, you know, been doing a lot these last several months, you know, with the comp plan, but I mean, again, we do have similar members from REDAB on the comp plan subcommittee committee. And you know, we've definitely been having conversations and whatnot, so it would still continue. And yes, it would be a little bit of additional work for me, but yes, kind of weaved into what we're doing with the comp plan and strategic plan. It'd be okay.
I think it makes sense.
You know, I can see it too, but again, like Catherine said, you have a lot of juggling going on, keeping all that stuff going, just don't want to overload you.
Just don't assign me anything more.
Yeah, it's just one, I mean, you the last one.
Yeah,
It's not even monthly, you basically.
We do meet monthly. There have been, you know, situations where maybe we don't necessarily have anything or we don't have enough members. And so, you know, we haven't necessarily met monthly. But, we are gonna be ramping up again with the comp plan stuff, and so having the conversation with this board would be valuable, so.
But are you on, you go to all the meetings already
Yes.
anyway, right?
Well,
I
the
just don't
comp
have to
plan,
prep work for it
Gotcha.
Yeah.
right now, so.
when is the comp plan, when is that going to be completed?
So we're gonna be getting back to that, just after the start of the new year, where we should have that contract that we folks, this week. To approve, and then we'll get going back with that. It'll probably be into early fall, just because we've, lost a little bit of time, so we want to make sure we're not rushing again we have originally said, June of 25. We'll take a few extra months to make sure again that we're not rushing, but we won't take a lot of extra time because we do want to get it completed, so it'll be fall of next year. Wrapped up.
Don't have a motion to do that, do we? We just, we have to come back with a, excuse me, a revised resolution or how, what?
I didn't put a motion in here, I just kind of brought it for discussion. If you folks do want to direct that it comes over, we'll update the resolution and then bring that back for you. for action.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think, okay.
I guess I'm just concerned about your
Yeah.
time and,
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. So we'll bring back resolution, and the board committee.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Nancy or
10-10.
Jacob or something.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay. 10 minutes, so good.
Send a note to Michael saying it might be early.
Can.
Yeah. I'd appreciate that, so
I'm
I'm
trying
not
to push
rushed.
everything up, might let him know, and he's usually here. Not at the last minute. Just let him know we're hoping to be. Early.
Don, do you need your book back for that?
No,
Can you track down Michael Bowler and let him know the board will probably be moving everything up early since that one canceled? See if he can't be here earlier. Thank you. Bye.
yeah.
Previous meeting or the future meeting, RHI.
We talked about it on Thursday here
Last week.
It won't be the last. Was there a consensus?
No, we're still debating, talking about that policy, but this would be the gentleman to talk to in depth about what direction we're going and what we're putting together.
Does the county have a history of RHIDs? I know it's our, just the tips,
Just tips.
and maybe something else. don't know what else.
I hope increment finance is still a relatively new idea. We did it in '06 for downtown, north and south.
Does,
This will be coming off
does
this
the
next
TIF
year.
include the sales tax too, like a star loan?
No,
But the Discovery Center was a star loan.
correct.
And part of the TIF, of course, didn't matter.
Well, it was already a TIF district and then they established a star bond district in order to put that in there, and then they've expanded it. I don't know any more than that.
It's no tax shit,
Yeah, that's basically it.
but nobody calls it that.
The best tax out there is the one people make other people pay.
Spend other people's money.
Mhm.
Who usually makes this motion? Greg?
Great, yeah.
Look at yours because.
Oh, okay, yeah. I say because I didn't know if you'd get another one or not. Yeah. You're leaving, you're not here Thursday, right? Okay.
And I'll be back on the 27th. So I'll miss a couple of meetings. Monday I'll miss,
Thursday. and
but I'll be reachable,
Okay,
except for when I'm flying.
of course. Which reminds
I'm
me,
gonna go out of Kansas City and go direct to Dulles. She's gonna pick me up.
oh,
Yeah, I don't have to
your
do
daughter's
that.
well in Virginia though, not in the district, right?
Where?
I don't like flying into Dulles because it's a 45-minute drive.
I know, well, she's in, she's down in
That's what I
Virginia,
thought,
she's
yeah.
gonna, it's about
It
the
works better
same
that way.
distance. Yeah, I don't have
That
to,
reminds me,
I don't
I
have to
thought
go to
that.
Charlotte and then Charlottesville,
Yeah.
it just. I always get stuck somewhere, doesn't matter where. It's usually Charlotte.
Yeah, I flew into there coming back from DC back in February. That's a small airport for such a large city.
Well, Nationals there too, that's,
Oh, true. Yeah.
they're really easier to fly in and out of than Dulles.
I hear most people would rather fly out of Baltimore than Dulles sometimes, than it's closer. It's just way out.
All the shuttles and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Last time I flew out there, they were still working on the metro and it's like, I was taking Uber, but it was like $70.
Oh, yeah, that's a long
Yeah.
distance.
Like,
to
no, I'm
down.
not doing that again.
I'm surprised you didn't fly into National.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Catherine, you have a daughter in Virginia?
Mhm.
What's it?
She's in Barbersville.
You have a daughter in Fredericksburg.
Well, oh, yeah, okay, that's not too far from there, like, she's like 20 minutes or 20 miles from Charlottesville. So,
Downtown
yeah.
Fredericksburg, it's pretty great.
Beautiful down there, isn't it? It's cold right now, though. She was really cold.
Brian said he wanted it, like he was gonna. So he went there, okay, and. The baby life, but yeah.
Speaking of flights, we're gonna have to probably rethink mine in February.
Okay.
He sent me a notice. Want me to sit there and wait in Chicago for 5 hours. Yes,
Oh, yeah, that's Chicago's where I've gotten stuck.
I'm not doing that. So
Commissioner right there.
I'll figure something else out.
Right there. Great.
Oh, more food,
Gosh.
more
We're gonna do a table
sweets,
for just
probably.
me.
Tis the season.
Okay, thank you, guys.
I'm gonna take a bag and with me. on my trip.
Greg, right up your alley.
Then I'll say, oh, I cooked these.
I'm glad we had scones at the fair this year, not cookies.
We were impressed about your ability to avoid the chocolate sitting on your desk.
I had one piece of fudge. It was good.
I mean, fudge is like, I don't know. And Vivian made it?
Yeah, she said her and Cindy made it, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's definitely good. Yeah.
They're both very good. I don't know, chefs in my work, it's not baked goods, all the dessert range from everything. Yeah. She said she made her own thing like divinity this last weekend, which is like. Well, her description was pretty good. She said, like, basically stir until your arm falls off, and then you stir with the other hand until that arm falls off, and so.
Yeah, baking requires a totally different skill set than regular cooking.
It does, thank you.
It does.
I suck at baking.
Yeah. I have terrible attitude.
Whoa. Wait a minute, how'd you get hired then? Did you lie? Oh, okay.
She must have brought somebody else's treats, because we require treats at every interview. You snuck it past him. Between desserts and napkins, I mean, really, what else do you need in the hiring process?
Sandwich.
We don't even need HR, that's what I'm saying. We can still eliminate it.
Good luck with that.
My workload just got.
Yeah, you have fun with that, Jacob.
We don't call you Homicide Hanson for nothing.
Wow, then you have fun with that. I've already set parameters on that nickname for him, so. The nicknames I call you aren't as bad.
I didn't come up with the nickname, so you can't blame me.
I'm a magnet for nicknames apparently.
At least they're calling you something.
John, we don't have to worry about him.
The engineer.
Hi, this is Clancy. I'm here to introduce Jacob.
I must say, I was almost impressed there for a minute.
He hasn't been here today. I mean,
Car issues.
He bought a car and apparently it doesn't
we have a
work.
tubular limit.
Well, it's got 200 miles on it, what do you expect?
It worked to the point it got him to.
He made a mistake, he bought a Ford, that's what happens.
Yeah, I drive. That works just fine for me. I commute to Topeka every day. Which I finally got a place lined up here.
You did, good deal.
Yeah, won't be until August, but
So you,
That's the turnover, that's the turnover in Manhattan.
Yeah.
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 you can
All right.
suffer through the.
On that note, go right ahead.
Commissioners Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor. The only thing I was going to do during my administrative time is tell you, go ahead and defer to John. You can go ahead, as far as I'm concerned, if the board wants to, you can proceed with item 21 first.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess you got thrown under the bus.
Always. I think that's part of the time. Good morning, Commission, John Oliver, Public Works Director, and I'm back here to thank to Clancy and Jacob and Brian for sharing their time to revisit the contract agreement with Call Valley Engineering. Brian and I had a really good conversation with Randy, and Randy's here, Purdue with Call Valley, the office manager, about the project, and with better explanation or a more better explanation of what the overrun cost on our perception was, and then a good solution to, I think, to the deal here. I'm sure Randy would appreciate some time to, if you allow him to give his side, but I tried to explain the best I could in a little bit of short memo. Most of the overruns are costs estimates were due to the method of constructing of the block walls. The masons in this project did most of this stuff by hand in smaller sections, so they mixed all their grout by hand on the site and then lifted it up onto the import it that way. Where typical shop, larger buildings, typical sites, they would have a pump truck coming, and then they would have more layers of mason or block put in place before they would pour the ground in there. So with that, it costs more pours, more mixing of the grout, more testing of the grout within one hand to make sure the steel was in place, the block was and the mix was in good shape for placing in the block. So let's see, before the estimated cost of the whole project at the beginning was $12,729. Previous estimate to finish out the whole project, the concrete work and everything else to the end was about 28,000. We worked out where Randy offered to finish the work out as planned. Let us hold on to the last 2 months payment of vouchers that we had invoices to pay, which totaled up to $24,884, and not charge us anymore for the rest of the project. If I got that right.
Yes.
Also enclosed in there was basically a letter stating that, would be, if once signed, would be the amendment to the contract we signed at the beginning. I probably butchered that really well, so if you want to ask questions to myself or maybe Randy, then be sure we'll do George or take your questions.
What were the other estimates that we had on this? Do you recall?
The only other one we had was from Terracon, which was for 16,000.
16,400. I'd ask him to look that up.
Oh, okay.
Can I have a chance to? Yeah, you can come up to the podium.
Commissioners, like you said, Randy Purdue, Call Valley Engineering. I'm gonna start off with twice a week. You guys, quite the dedication to your public service. We applaud that. That's a lot of time. So to head down the road with the agreement that was signed, and yeah, Terracon's estimate of 16 something. The high point that I'd like to point out is in our agreement, and I have not seen their agreement, but we're all in the same business. We all go about the same way of attracting business in this front. Our contract lists out a scope of services that we're going to provide to you guys. And then, when we get down here to fees and schedule, our exact wording is the services will be performed in accordance with the attached fee schedule. So the hourly rates that were provided in this, and fees will be invoiced for actual work completed. The number that keeps getting brought up, this 12,000, 729.40, it clearly states at the top of that, that's time and materials budget estimate. That's, you guys are looking to do a project. We're looking at the plans and the specs. We're not the one doing the work. Our job is overseeing the guys doing the work. We have no idea up front how often they're gonna place concrete, what their means and methods, like he was going to. In this case, most of the overrun was that their methodology for placing the masonry was incredibly time consuming. That's up to them. That's how they want to do it. Unfortunately, we don't know that. And I would bet that your other contract or agreement that if you went through the wording would be the same. One of the things that we don't do is we don't put in minimums. A lot of our competitors will put in 2 hour, 4 hour minimum show ups, and it's very rare that we do that. It'd be an outlier of a project that's way away from where one of our offices are that we would do that. So when the biggest failure that I see here on this, and I hate that we got to this point, is I wish my staff would have contacted John and been a little clearer to what you guys budgeted. We're gonna go over, here's why. There was communication further down the line. I understand there was frustration with how quickly some of that came. But ultimately, we continued to do our job because we knew what it was. We knew what we had agreed to. We had agreed to provide the services, to oversee the contractor. And so we continued to show up and do those, knowing that it was necessary. We can't stop the work. That's not something that we're allowed to do. We have to continue showing up. If we miss an inspection or a test, you can't go back and get that data later. So it's imperative that we just continue to do our job as required. And we did that. I believe John started the original meeting off with saying, all of our inspection reports come in, we've been showing up and doing our job. That was the issue was the communication on why we were presenting a bill that was considerably more than what was expected, which we were following what was in the original agreement. One of the things that was brought up at the November 25th meeting was that somehow the fact that this was a government funded project would have something to do with our rates. And again, it's a standard rate sheet. You guys had that up front. What we were presenting to you, the 28,000 was actual time billed, which is what the 24,884 was. And then his estimate on what it was going to take to finish out the concrete placements. At this point in time, we discussed and came to a agreement that we won't bill you any further. We understand it's somewhat sticker shock whenever the workload gets to be to this point that we're close to double what the original estimate was. And so we agree that we invoiced up to 24,000 at this point. We'll finish the project out and we won't require any payment on the 9,000 that's owed until the job's complete. So you're sure that we're going to complete it as we should.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, I mean, I've been in the masonry business for 8 years, so I know what you're talking about, how they did it. Things different than what we would have done. That, I mean, I've worked for a competitor for them.
I would tell you it's outside of the industry standard for 12-inch block. And that's really, that's the key.
Well,
because that's
12
how
inch that high, I mean, that's a lot of grout.
Exactly. And that's how we put together our, you guys referenced when we had plans, we did, and we had their specifications that tell us how often we're to do our job. The trick is the unknown factor for Call Valley Engineering is how often is the contractor gonna want us there? Because they place day after day after day as opposed to, and the methodology, the way they did it required us to be on site for 4, 6 hours as opposed to showing up for 2 because they run around them.
The only thing it could have let us know a lot earlier.
I'm not gonna argue that
You
one.
said that one, that was,
I'm not gonna
my
argue
sticking
that
point.
point. Me and my staff have had some conversations on communication. He, he acknowledged that you guys played a little phone tag. And we were a little slow getting back to him, and I told him, I said, Dan, up front, you should have seen this coming. And before you sent the September invoice, there should have been an email or a phone call that said, hey, just so you know, this is where we are, this is where we've got this much left. And while it still maybe isn't exactly known, we are gonna go over. That way you guys in-house can start conversations. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me is, well, a couple things, but they were your subcontractors, not ours.
No.
Well, they were,
No,
no, okay.
we have nothing to do with any of that selection.
No, I mean, so we selected the mason.
Yeah, we don't know that when we're providing estimates, budgets, any of that. All we can do is what we assume to be industry standard, which is the reason we keep coming back to that point. Same thing with, foundations. They ran into some weather, and I honestly know. My assumption is they probably dug, saw it was gonna rain in a couple days, said, let's pour it a short section and then let's come back and do it again. There was a couple more foundation placements than what we had estimated. Again, some crews would walk in there and pour the whole thing in one shot. Some of them are gonna pour it in 2. Sometimes because of weather, it dictates 6. We don't know that. There's no way for us to know. That's why the agreements are wrote the way they are, and I'd be very interested to hear whether our competitor was in a different way, but I would assume that they're under the same unknowns that we are.
So are we responsible for the other, for their for the other contractors that, or who
Our
was?
contract was with them directly, with Call Valley directly.
For test and inspection, which is parts of the inspection, IBC, which is what governs a lot of us, require the owner for your quality assurance to hire us. That's why often most testing inspection contracts are with the owner, not with the.
Because with the contracts, then there's could be, if he's hired by the contractor could try to talk him into, well, let's fudge these numbers and they look, and that's why.
Or what
the
happens
owner
is
has to-
reports
Yeah.
disappear or don't get sent, things don't always make it where they're supposed to. So it's a good practice that the owner pay for the quality assurance, which is what was going on.
The only thing, next time in looking at the total cost, we need to look at their hourly rates. They're billing what their relative is,
Okay.
then we need to look at hourly
And
rates.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm not gonna argue that statement one bit, because that's how we put ours together. We give you this budget estimate, because you guys ultimately need to have some sort of an idea as to what this is gonna cost. But yeah, ultimately, you need to read the fine print and see, is the person going to charge you minimum hours no matter what? And a lot of times that's due to covering travel time, or their hourly rates are low enough, they know that they need a certain amount of pay, and we almost never do. That's very rare. Well, usually we are straight up hourly, per what's stated.
So Commissioner, the timeline on how these were done, VHS sent out basically bids for all the sub work for the project. At the same time, they sent out information to quote on inspection to Call Valley on the other. These were all done all at the same time, and our group building committee reviewed those with VHS and then picked each contractor that we had some say in the contractors as we went through that. So the choosing of the Mason and choosing of Call Valley was done at the same day. So they would have never known who was doing it and how they were doing the work before that.
It seems like we should have known, the communication just.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing you could have known is our projection that we're gonna go over. And I understand that's important to know sooner rather than later. I agree with that. Unfortunately, at that point, even at that point, he may have been like, we're a quarter away through masonry. Where's this gonna head? Here's a projection, but we don't really know. And I wasn't that hands-on with this project at that point, so I don't know in September where we were with the masonry.
Joys of construction. I guess on the bright side of things, we at least know that, the inspection work was done, and it was done right, so, in the end, at least. That is what it is, so. I tend to agree, communication. Definitely should be better, probably on all ends, but. It is what it is.
Yeah, very construction manager over there.
Well, they don't bill through the contractor, they bill to us,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, and
They
that's,
don't know, the construction manager knows that he just making sure that they're there every time they're needed.
Mhm.
He doesn't know how many hours they figured to begin with and.
that's who's contacting us to show up. And so that's, that's all we can go by. But your construction manager saying, hey, we're at this stage of work, we need you guys on site, or we need you to come oversee this. And that's, we show up every time that phone call comes in.
That I understand.
First came through, I was a little shocked with the explanation. Makes sense to me.
No, it helps,
How-
it helps
how
tremendously,
things
yeah, and understanding that's a phase of the construction is huge, because I get the rest of your guys, a mason standardly would give you a hard price and it's.
Yeah.
Do your job, unless there's some unforeseen change that they don't know about. In our case, we do not know that, and that's why our.
I move to approve the KVE agreement amendment.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the KVE, agreement amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair, please.
Clancy Holmes, Raleigh County Councilor again, just gonna move to the project with. Sure. Lovely, those eyes. So. See if that- place for it. Yeah, that way. Well, you can imagine. This looks like, you have a good sense, I'm sure, as to what we're working on currently, so if you have any questions, I would be glad to. Certainly if something comes up you want, information on before the next meeting, then definitely get in touch with us, but at this point, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have on anything.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, commissioners, we had our last interview, Linda Gibbs, canceled and withdrew her name, so now you are free if the chair would like to
Yeah,
move forward and discuss law board appointment.
Let's do that at 2:30 of work. Follow up with. Right after.
At 10:30.
Okay, so since we're moving up, I thought we'd start maybe by discussing the citizen at large position first, and then we'll get to the other two appointments afterwards. So, keeping in mind that, we had a total of 6 applications. One withdrew, and the other one is going to be a city appointment in Pierce. So we have just the 4 to discuss, so. Open up the floor to discussion.
I had 3 that I was interested in, even before the others that got even here. I had Moffin, Olds, and the last guys, Harrison. I liked all 3 of those guys. Different pluses and minuses for each one of them, but I thought those 3 seemed to have good ideas of what the job entailed.
Yeah, I just had 2. 1, 2. Go ahead, but, I like Maupin because he's retired federal law, military, has, protective work, and he's from Randolph. I thought a good thing having someone from the North County. Seems to understand, big budgets. I also like Mickey Bennett. Mainly because of their military and their, law enforcement background.
I had Harrison and Olds. That's the 2 I had. I guess with Harrison, I mean, he's got military background and has served on some other key community boards. No, probably doesn't have a lot of experience necessarily with law enforcement, but that airport advisory board kind of works in the same manner, but it's more municipal than county city, but kind of like a few of his ideas, particularly when it comes to budgeting. I think it's something that needs to be looked at and addressed with a little bit more of a deeper dive and vision. So, Gary's basically the same way. So
He's obviously been involved.
Yeah.
He's paying attention for a while.
Yeah.
So that's,
It's the only one who shows up over
Yeah.
talking about budget, but
pretty much.
yeah.
yeah, my concern is more interested in changing the scope of the law board as opposed to necessarily having the budgetary, well, it's not budgetary, but military and the law enforcement.
I mean, well, I do think the thing with that too is that isn't just a push from the board itself, it's gonna have to be done statutorily, and that's
Well,
that's a whole different ballgame there, so.
what did you think about Montgomery?
I like his background, I agree with you on that. I gotta look at my notes here.
I think we're pretty city heavy on it, so that's why I was thinking Randolph. Someone from Randolph would be good.
Everywhere.
And explode.
I guess so. So that kind of way, I guess. Yeah, 37 years law enforcement, military, local, federal. His latest duties took him to Homeland Security. And volunteer fireman. Good. I gotta write that down.
I just need a couple of notes. Well, like I said, it's pretty city heavy. That's kind of sways me back. Either one,
Kind of them up, and he's there, but he's not in a long-term,
not a long
he's only
time
been there a
person.
couple of years.
Yeah,
But I used to, having someone in North County, because like we represented.
Yeah, sure. That's what I was saying. Yeah, sorry, he's on. He's been doing a lot of other.
Yeah, he's been,
Homeland Security is a big one too. But Gary's good too, so I can help.
Is that who we want?
well, I don't, like I said, I can, I thought Harrison and Owens both.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had all three of them as being good. If I had to lean one, I might have been leaning towards Gary just because he's been so involved in it for so long. So the outside complaining.
Well,
Outside,
it gives you an opportunity to see what you could do there. Yeah, I agree.
Gary's okay, but yeah, I just really kind of like someone from out of the city.
Gary does own some property that's outside of the
Does he?
city too, so a little bit of interest in
Gary
both.
County.
Yeah, and Dickinson County, I think too, I think.
Yeah.
And believe me, he speaks up at those boards too, I'm told, so. So, I can go there too, that's fine.
There's too many applicants.
Yeah.
It's a good problem
Which
to
is a
have. I
problem.
mean, remember last time we just had the one,
I
so I
know.
mean, that's,
Yeah.
And I think
people are paying
the
attention.
year before that, it was the same.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Or 2 years before that.
Yeah.
You said one, so it's.
I-
It's, yeah, I'm glad people are interested.
Yeah. Really good
And I don't
one.
know, if part of it, we advertised or kind of a little more, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of went out and talked to people in various groups and said, not just the law board, but just appointments in
Yeah,
general that we
appointments in
can,
general, yeah.
Yeah,
we need to get some people on these type of boards because they're important and just judging by the discussion this morning shows just how important it is, so.
it is, and it's
Mhm.
our board is
Um,
big and the budget's gonna be really big.
yeah,
They're a big,
And what to do with the jail and all that.
lot
So,
going on there.
um,
Gary Olds or mopping commissioners?
I'm leaning Gary.
Yeah,
I still like Boston, but I'll go with you guys. If you think that's-
One seat settled, Gary Olds.
yeah. Do I need to make a motion?
It's
to-
they're all part of one motion that,
So I
so
didn't know if we wanted a separate one for this one or wait and do them all.
they have it in the packet as one anyway.
Okay.
Let me decide on which commissioners fill which spots. We have the fill the commission position and then the alternate position for county commissioner.
But it's not an alternate, they're not an alternate, they're part of it.
It's an alternating position.
It alternates between,
Mhm.
excuse me, between city and county.
It does.
Well, I'd like to be on the law board again. I served for 2 years. First started and I didn't know as much then as I know now.
Well, believe me, I came on the same time as you did, so I've been there 4 years and I know a lot more than I didn't think I would know, so.
Well, I know I passed on it last time, but I'd like to. I haven't hit my turn yet. So I'm interested in it too.
John, you've been on what, 4
Mhm.
years?
I feel that interest for him, I'm still interested, but. It doesn't matter to me, if you guys want to serve, it's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to, because I don't have a whole lot of boards that I'm on.
Yeah.
I got plenty, so I
Yeah, I
can
know.
get one.
I've got several that have become so inactive, but
Yeah, that's the way I'm at, so I could use some extra stuff.
yeah, I need more time. That's all.
Yeah.
I need to take more time, that's all.
So any preference on which one fills the county commission position and which one fills the county commission alternate position?
What is that? Oh,
Well, I'll make a suggestion since
Okay.
you're gonna be chair next year, maybe fill the commission seat, then be the alternate.
okay. Well,
It just
that's
looks better structurally.
fine. I don't care.
Okay.
That
works.
looks fine.
Okay,
So you'll be the main and I'll be the alternate. Okay,
But it's
It's alternate,
Or the other way
it's the
around.
the alternate position, but not the alternate, yeah.
okay.
Get a motion as such.
Well, I move to approve McKinley to fill the county commission position. Commissioner Foki for the alternate position and Gary Olds for the county resident position on the law board as Ronald County representatives.
I'd second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded to appoint Commissioner Greg McKinley to the county position, Commissioner Catherine Foki to the alternate position, and Gary Olds to the citizen at large position on the Riley County Law Board for the upcoming term. All in favor?
Aye.
Deal. Thank you, Commissioners.
Good discussion.
Yep. Next, Commissioners, all you have before the law board is Michael Bowler's executive session.
Okay.
That's prohibited. We got started on a lot there.
You need to know how long you want to go to.
It's just
20
minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for checking.
They're just making 11 or after 11.
Make it 11.
Okay, I make a motion to, are we ready to do this now?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to recess as the Board of County, where's Shapley?
Yeah, nobody from the health department here.
Gotta have the word. I move the county commission, including Chairman Ford and Commissioner Foki and Commissioner McKinley, recess into executive session on a performance matter for non-elected personnel, department head evaluation of Michael Bowler, and to protect the privacy of the employee, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act with Elizabeth Ward, Human Resources Director. Included and the open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
That was, okay.
Second. That's the only one we got.
Yeah, it was mine originally from 2 weeks ago. Okay. But the moved and seconded that the county commission, including Chairman Ford, Commissioner McKinley and Commissioner Foki recess into executive session on a personnel matter for non-elected personnel, a department head evaluation of Michael Bowler, noxious weed, and hazardous household waste department director, and to protect the privacy of the employee, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act with Elizabeth Ward, human resource director. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 11, 7 a.m. Okay.
Hi.
Only give you. You got
Okay,
it.
all right, all right, thank you.
Commissioners meeting
I
side.
got. Michael, yes, you hang around after we're done. I had another question. Absolutely. Move the county, move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded. The board of county out of executive session. All in favor?
I
Move the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session.
would second that.
Been moved and seconded. That the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session. All in favor?
I
Okay. We finished up a little early today, but we've had some long meetings, so I think we owe one to ourselves.
Mhm.
Well, and since I'm gonna be gone, I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Safe travels.
Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
travel safe.
Yeah,
I will be back for New Year's. So.
with you.
yeah, and cookies and
Cookies.
jelly beans.
I'm gonna take a bag. and
There's
put it-
3 Gale donuts over there too, but they're from Varsity, so they're still probably.
Yeah, there's my,
Maybe.
uh,
Hopefully you have strong teeth, maybe. I don't know. So that was the last item for today, other than the law board meeting that I had this afternoon. And that's that.
okay,
Be your last law board meeting.
Well, I'll be at next month's
Next month,
for the
yeah.
transition, but yeah, after that.
That might be a good feeling.
Well, we can simplify some things in 25. That's okay. It's okay.
okay. Anything?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Unless you, this is your one opportunity to give your score early, I guess.
What score?
So you're not gonna be here for the bowl game.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. Okay. We'll get them next Monday, but yeah,
Okay.
I may have to text it in.
text me or email me.
I will.
Do some research.
I'll do some research.
Get some input from your daughter, maybe that'll help.
That will help. She's a
Because
big fan.
no pressure, but you are last on the list at half a point. Because you and John split the OSU.
Half a point.
Boy.
Uh-huh. Greg's the highest, Greg's the highest at 3.
I had 3.
I didn't do so well this year. I second guessed too much.
John's at 2.5 because you split the one with
Yeah.
Catherine.
And I picked Iowa State too.
So I'm still on the bottom, even if I got one.
No, you had a me then. I had
Oh,
one.
you got one.
You
Okay.
win one, you'll be ahead of me. 'Cause I've
I
just
thought that
got
at the
one.
beginning of the season too, so that wasn't a last minute thing. So.
It's a valuable pot, so you might want to think hard on it.
Thanks, Rich.
Yep, text or email. Yep.
And I was gonna ask, what's the status of the city county meeting on Thursday? I didn't see any topics. Are we having that meeting or no?
I do not know.
Okay,
Do not know. I've not heard.
it's here.
Mhm.
Okay. That out.
I don't know if we have a topic listed or not.
I suppose we get back to that.
It doesn't say, it just says city county, we still have it reserved on the agenda.
Say what?
It's still reserved on the agenda, but there's
I
no topic listed.
Didn't see any agenda or anything for it, so. I'm not against not having it necessarily, you've just thrown it out
If
there.
you want to cancel, we can let them know to cancel.
Well, if there's no topics, then there's no reason to,
Yeah,
no reason to have it, but I didn't know, so I just found that out there, okay.
I haven't heard any.
Good Morning Manhattan's also Thursday morning, I don't know if, I don't, you're not gonna be here, but.
What's the presentation, you know? who's-
Dick Carter is gonna come and give a
Oh, okay.
legislative session update, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I would make a motion, or unless you got, oh, I don't know, you don't do scores yet, so I would.
Yep, go ahead.
I would make a motion to reset or to. I can't think today. I would make a motion to. Adjourn the Board of Riley County Commissions for the December 16th meeting.
Second.
And moved and seconded to adjourn the December 16th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor?